Habit number 1, lifestyle inflation. You got a raise. Congratulations. You worked hard for it, you deserve it, and now you're making 20% more than you were last year. So naturally, you upgrade your apartment. You lease a nicer car. You start eating out more because you can finally afford it. You've earned this, right? Here's what's actually happening. You just locked yourself into a more expensive life without building any actual wealth. That $10,000 raise? After taxes, you're looking at maybe $7,000. But your new apartment costs $400 more per month. Your car payment jumped $300. Your dining budget went up $200. That's $900 a month, $10,800 a year. You're now spending more than your raise. You feel richer, but you're actually broker than before. The math doesn't care about how hard you worked or how much you deserve it. The brutal reality is this. Every time your income goes up and your expenses rise to match it, you reset your wealth building to zero. You're running faster on the same treadmill. Habit number 2, the sale trap. It was 50% off. I saved $200. No, you didn't. You spent money you weren't planning to spend. That's not saving. That's marketing convincing you that spending is somehow the same as saving. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. A discount on something you don't need is still a waste of money. You weren't going to buy those shoes until you saw the sale. You didn't need that kitchen gadget until it was marked down. The discount created the purchase, not the other way around. And retailers know this. That's why they engineer sales. They'd rather you buy something at 40% off than not buy it at all. They're still making money. You're still losing it. The irony is, you feel smart when you buy on sale. You tell yourself you're being financially savvy. Meanwhile, your closet is full of discounted things you rarely use, and your bank account is lighter. If you wouldn't buy it at full price, the sale price is irrelevant. Habit number 3, keeping up appearances. You buy the nice car because you want people to know you're doing well. You rent the apartment in the expensive neighborhood because it signals success. You wear the brands that communicate status. And look, I get it. Image matters. First impressions matter. Nobody wants to look like they're struggling. But here's where it falls apart. You're spending money to look wealthy instead of spending money to become wealthy. That $800 car payment? Over 5 years, that's $48,000. Invested in an index fund averaging 10% annually, that same money becomes $61,000. You're literally paying $61,000 to look successful for 5 years. The people you're trying to impress? Most of them are doing the same thing. They're also drowning in payments for things that make them look richer than they are. Here's what actually separates the wealthy from everyone else. The wealthy buy assets that generate income. Everyone else buys liabilities that generate payments. Your expensive car depreciates the moment you drive it off the lot. It's not making you money. It's costing you money every month. Payment, insurance, maintenance, gas. That's not wealth. That's the opposite of wealth. The truth is harsher than you want to hear. If you're spending money to look rich, you're proving you're not. Habit number 4, the small purchases don't matter. Mindset. It's just $5. You say this about coffee, about snacks, about app purchases, about convenience fees, about delivery charges. It's just $5, so it doesn't really count, right? Here's what nobody tells you. Small purchases are how wealth disappears. You're not tracking them because they feel insignificant. $5 here, $8 there, $12 for lunch. None of it feels like real spending because none of it hurts. No single purchase makes you flinch. But the math tells a different story. $5 per day is $1,825 per year. That's not insignificant. That's a vacation. That's an emergency fund. That's the difference between financial stress and financial breathing room. And it's never just one $5 purchase. It's coffee and lunch and the impulse buy at checkout and the streaming rental and the premium shipping. It adds up to $20, $30, $50 a day without you even noticing. The reality is different. Your wealth isn't destroyed by the big purchases you agonize over. It's destroyed by the small purchases you don't even remember making. Habit number 5, lifestyle subscriptions that auto-renew. You signed up for the free trial. You forgot to cancel. Now you're paying $9.99 a month for something you used once. And it's not just one subscription. It's the streaming services you're not watching, the gym membership you're not using, the premium apps you forgot you upgraded, the meal kit service that keeps charging you, the software you don't need anymore. Here's the part they don't mention. Subscription companies are betting on your forgetfulness. They know most people won't cancel. They know you'll keep paying month after month for services you barely use. That's the entire business model. Make cancellation annoying enough that you'll just keep paying to avoid the hassle. You're hemorrhaging $200, $300, $400 a month on subscriptions you don't actively use. That's $2,400 to $4,800 a year. That's not nothing. And the worst part? You convinced yourself these subscriptions add value to your life. But when was the last time you actually used half of them? Here's what actually happens. You're paying for the idea of convenience, not actual convenience. You're paying for optionality you never exercise. You're paying for guilt, the feeling that you should cancel, but you keep putting it off. Cancel everything? Then resubscribe only to what you immediately miss. You'll be shocked how little you actually need. Habit number 6, emotional spending. Bad day at work? Buy something. Stressed about money? Buy something. Celebrating a win? Buy something. Feeling lonely? Buy something. You've turned shopping into therapy, and it's costing you everything. The truth is messier than retail therapy suggests. Buying things doesn't fix your emotions. It just delays them while adding financial stress on top. That $200 you spent to feel better, it feels good for about 20 minutes. Then reality hits. The problem you were avoiding is still there, except now you're $200 poorer and probably feel guilty about the purchase. You're not solving anything. You're creating a feedback loop. Feel bad, spend money, feel worse about spending, feel bad again, spend more to compensate. And retailers know this. That's why sales emails hit your inbox when you're vulnerable. Treat yourself. You deserve this. Self-care isn't selfish. They're not helping you feel better. They're profiting from your emotions. Here's what's actually happening. Every time you use spending to manage your feelings, you're training yourself to associate money with emotional relief. You're hardwiring a habit that will drain your wealth for years. The fix isn't comfortable, but it's simple. Feel your feelings without reaching for your wallet. The discomfort passes. The money you save doesn't. Habit number 7. Following financial advice from broke people. Your coworker who's drowning in credit card debt just told you that investing is risky and you should keep your money in savings. Your friend who still lives paycheck to paycheck explained why buying a new car is actually a smart financial move. Your family member who has no retirement fund is lecturing you about how the stock market is gambling, and you're listening to them. Here's the problem with that. You're taking financial advice from people who have no financial success. Would you take fitness advice from someone who never exercises? Would you take career advice from someone who hates their job? Then why are you taking money advice from people who are terrible with money? The reality is harsher. Most people are broke, and broke people give broke advice. They tell you investing is too risky because they've never invested. They tell you to save cash because they don't understand inflation. They tell you that debt is normal because they've normalized their own financial dysfunction. And the worst part? They mean well. They genuinely think they're helping you. But good intentions don't change bad information. Here's what nobody wants to admit. If someone's financial situation is a mess, their financial advice is probably a mess too. You can love them, respect them, and still completely ignore their money opinions. Listen to people who have what you want, not people who are stuck where you're trying to escape from. Habit number 8. The diversification equals safety myth. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You've heard this 1,000 times, so you spread your money across 15 different investments. A little in stocks, a little in bonds, some in crypto, a bit in real estate funds, maybe some gold. You feel smart, you feel safe. Here's what's actually happening. You're so diversified that nothing you own can actually make you wealthy. Diversification protects you from catastrophic loss. That's true. But it also protects you from catastrophic gain. When you own everything, you own nothing that matters. Your portfolio goes up 2%. Congratulations. You've basically matched inflation. You didn't lose money, but you didn't make any either. You're financially treading water while calling it strategy. The truth is different. Diversification is a defensive move, disguised as a smart move. It's what you do when you don't actually understand what you're investing in. It's what you do when you're scared. And fear is a terrible investment strategy. The people who build real wealth, they concentrate their investments in things they understand deeply. They take calculated risks on a few strong bets instead of tiny risks on everything. Yes, you could lose more if you're wrong, but you could also win more when you're right. And treading water financially for 40 years isn't winning. It's just losing slowly. Diversification isn't safety. It's mediocrity with a marketing budget.